All right, take 5.
What up, peeps? Welcome to podcast number 2. In this podcast, we have Jake Kurtz, the Jake Kurtz.
Hey.
In this podcast, he talks about branching into his passions full-time, quitting his 9 to 5, as well as the untapped brilliance that is LinkedIn and how to use that for your business.
Yes, and on top of that, he also talks about the importance of finding that balance between working for your clients and then working for yourself as a personal brand. Check it out. Let's roll this intro and let's get started. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Roberto Guido.
And my name is Marissa Lewis.
And together we are
the Dos Cocos Locos.
And welcome to our podcast.
So our goal with this podcast is to drop as much coconut fire, which is our way of saying life/business knowledge bombs, for creatives that don't necessarily know much about life or business, through conversations with one another as well as with other fellow creatives and dope people.
Our story has a lot of twists and turns, but basically we started by selling coconuts at the beach, and now we have our own photography and videography business, and it's through these conversations that we were able to really learn how to navigate this thing called life. Enjoy. All right, so Jake, can you go ahead and in one sentence just tell us what you do? It's kind of
one long sentence or just
one
long sentence precise.
Sentence.
All right. I am a social media first digital marketing professional is what I would say. And when I say that, I basically mean I do all aspects of digital marketing, whether it be websites, search engine stuff, social media. But I always look at social media as the first thing that I offer somebody or that I start with when I'm putting together a package or something like that, because I just think that social media has such a big opportunity in today's world, and that's just kind of the way I wanted to structure my agency. Whenever I decided, all right, I'm going to start this agency, I was like, I'm going to do it with social media first, still offer the rest of the stuff, but really heavily focus on social media.
Yeah.
So
nice.
that's what I would say. Yeah,
that's crazy. So we kind of met Jake through Instagram. Basically we were following him for a while, and then we saw that he was going to be doing his business, which is Brick Media, full time.
Yep.
So we remembered how the struggle was when we first decided to take that leap of faith and go all in on our dreams. So we're like, that's awesome. And we just went ahead and made a quick little animation for you, and that was cool. And then ever since then, we've been working together ever since then. Basically.
Yep, they literally sent me a little graphic that was an animated version of my logo and just sent it to me out of nowhere. And I was just sitting there and I was like, that's really nice of these guys. I was like, they don't owe me anything. They don't even know me. They just made me this nice little animation. I was like, I'm gonna meet with these guys, and the rest is pretty much history.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Yeah,
we actually do have some footage of that. So here's a quick little.
You have footage of that?
We do.
No way.
Yeah. So here's a quick flashback.
Wow.
When we met at Starbucks.
Yeah,
we have footage of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, guys? So we just finished meeting up with Jake. Check him out.
What's up, everybody? Benefit of
Recording
everything you do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Awesome.
That's funny. I forgot we have that.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
look for it. I'll find it somewhere.
I love it.
But dang. So, Marissa, you want to jump in? Ask a next question?
Yes. Our next question
Ask
is...
away.
This is our second podcast ever, guys. So don't be all judgy and stuff.
No.
We're still figuring
with our
stuff
first
out.
guest. What were our questions?
I'm honored.
Just kind of what you do, what's some advice. Alright, let's take it.
Okay, sweet. So, how did you feel making the jump to full time?
Go.
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, okay.
Is it? I don't know. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay, cool. How did I feel jumping from full-time work to full-time entrepreneurship?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still kind of in the phase where I'm learning and figuring out my day-to-day and just the new flow of everything and the new best ways to manage my time and things like that. But overall, it's the best decision I've made in my life. I mean, I always saw myself as a decent employee. I always got the job done. I always was able to get promoted. I was moving up in kind of the corporate ranks. I got to manager level. I was, going to be probably at senior management level soon, maybe director level at some point. So I was like, this is going well.
Yeah.
But I was working at an advertising agency in Tampa, actually, and I started seeing, because it was a smaller company, I started seeing what they were charging to their clients for the same services that I knew how to do anyways. And I was like, wait, they're charging that much per hour?
Yep.
And I'm only getting paid this per hour?
Yeah.
And I was
Was that like your moment when you're like, all right, I gotta do this by myself?
That's the moment that kind of planted the seed in my head that like there could be something for me from the running your own business side of things, but I really didn't know anything about it yet, and I was still just kind of toying with the idea of maybe just getting my feet wet in it a little bit. So I started just meeting more people, posting more stuff on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. This was also right around the time when I found out about Gary Vee and started listening to Gary Vee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, I started seeing the inner workings of an agency. I started listening to Gary Vee. I started meeting other people that were business owners, and like, as corny as it sounds, like I started going to church again, and like that started helping my mindset with different things. And like, I just feel like all these different external factors started coming into my life, and that just started pushing me in the direction of maybe I should, have more faith in myself and just pursue my own dream. And like, maybe this whole 9-to-5 thing isn't what I was meant to do, and maybe that's why I keep jumping from job to job and never finding my home at a company. You know what I mean? Like, my jobs were good jobs too. They weren't jobs that, I wasn't dreading going to work every single day. I was getting paid decently, like comfortably paying my bills and everything. Never had any major complaints with like bosses or coworkers or anything, or I was never super bored with the projects I was working on. But I just kind of knew in the back of my head that like maybe the reason that I can't find something that really clicks for me and like really makes me excited to get up every day, maybe that means I'm meant to run my own thing. So I started getting some clients outside of work, just little things like a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. I already knew how to build websites because I kind of dabbled in college at like, I had like a hip hop blog at one point when I was in college.
What?
Did you guys even know that?
I don't
Yes,
know.
you told us that when we first met you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
I forgot about that, dude. That's crazy.
It was back when Twitter was like the most popular social media.
Okay.
So I had like between 5,000 and 10,000 followers on Twitter with that music blog, and it was starting to get to the point where like I had smaller artists reaching out to me about like getting featured on it and things like that. And eventually like school took over, and I shut that down and just focused on school. But that basically taught me like web development. It taught me how to market a website on social media and get traction and things like that. So whenever I started branching out and like offering different services outside of work, I was starting to do like, social media and blogging and stuff like that, and, ghostwriting articles for people and things, because like I was pretty good at writing. But through that music blog experience, like I knew how to build websites, and I was like, I'm just gonna start offering websites too. And I mean, now I charge way more for a website because I've just learned that it can be a headache if you don't. But at the time, I was just making a few $100 extra here and there just to build a couple page website for a business, and just started getting my name out there more with content and meeting more people, networking. And slowly but surely, over the course of my next 2 full-time jobs, I just started getting more and more into it, and less of my energy was going towards my 9-to-5. And I hit a certain I'm sure you guys can relate to that feeling. But once I finally got close to the point where I was quitting, it was at the point where I was barely putting any energy towards my full-time job, and I was basically just getting by and not getting fired. Like for the last couple of months, I was just like, I just need to not get fired. I was like, this isn't going to last much longer, but I don't have the money right now to quit. And I pretty much just like hung on by a thread for a while, and still got the job done, and did my day-to-day tasks, but like no extra effort. Like any happy hours after work, I was like, not going home.
Or like, stuff to do back home.
Any activities involving work with coworkers, I was just like, nope, I'm good. And I basically didn't want to get too in with the company to where I felt like I was too much of a part of it and too much of a part of the team to quit.
Hard for you to leave,
So I just kept distancing myself from all that stuff, and that's when I knew like, this isn't gonna last much longer. And even though I don't have the money right now coming in recurring to be able to quit, I'm just going to figure it out, and I'm going to just go for it.
That's cool.
And there was a day when I was working from home, literally I just like I don't know what came over me that day, but I just had this crazy idea that I'm just gonna call my boss and put in my 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I was
That's intense, bro.
That's crazy.
yeah, so I just like I started running numbers in my head. I was like, I mean, if I get one more client and maybe if I get a website this upcoming month, I'll be able to pay the bills. Like I was probably making between 50 and 75% of my salary on the side when I quit. So, yeah, like I was making just under 80,000 a year at my job. So I was making like between 70 and 80, and on the side I was probably bringing in like, I don't know, 35 or 40, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, if I get one more client or maybe 2 more clients, I was like, I might be closer to that 70-ish range again. And yeah, I literally landed a client the day after I quit. Well, let me back up actually. Let me tell you this.
What?
He's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Let me get back to the story of me actually quitting though. I was just sitting in my apartment, just working, doing my day-to-day, doing my morning tasks, and something came over me, and I literally just like threw my headphones in, called my boss on the phone. She didn't pick up the first time, and I was like freaking out.
Like,
so I was like, "Oh my
like,
god!"
do I leave a voicemail?
I was like, "Is this like?
Is this a sign?"
I was like, "Is this a sign that I should still keep doing this?" And then I waited like 15 or 20 minutes, and I was like, at this point, I'm like pacing around the pond outside of our apartment complex, and I'm literally just like, I probably burned like 300 calories just walking in circles around the pond.
Yeah.
And yeah, like my heart rate was going, and I was just freaking out. But I called back, and she picked up, and I quit, put my 2 weeks in. And she was like, I totally understand. And honestly, I think she saw that.
So she was like supportive of it, like in a way.
She was supportive, yeah. I mean, how can you? I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where like
you can't really do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
even if she wasn't supportive, like she didn't show that, which I appreciated a lot. It was really cool the way she handled it. And I think people at my job also knew that my heart wasn't in it anyway, so they weren't shocked. And honestly,
Same.
they saw that I was putting out content on LinkedIn and Instagram and
they're like,
everything else all the time, and they're like, he's got something cooking on the side.
That's so true, man.
So, and I even told my boss
It's so true. It's so similar. It's so weird to
funny,
like see
right?
the similarities. Because like when I quit, everyone kind of saw it coming.
It's
like,
funny how
doing,
similar.
Like, we started doing like free stuff, and like we were posting it everywhere.
Yeah.
And then all my peeps were like calling me on Facebook and Instagram, so they saw us like starting to do that.
Yeah, and on top of that, like I think what gave it away for us was during the weekends. People would ask us, so what did you do? Like it's a typical like Monday question. What did you do on the weekend?
Yeah.
And we would say, oh, we did like this shoot. We met this person. We like did all this stuff, and then they're like,
it's like, oh, you didn't go
like,
golfing?
Like, you didn't, or you just didn't watch
yeah.
like another episode of The Office or something. Like what? We're like, we're like enjoying our weekend.
It's like, well, we're trying
like
to leave
working.
here.
Yeah.
We're trying to leave. Yeah,
We're trying to quit, bro.
It's crazy, man. So,
That's crazy.
But yeah, sorry, we cut you off on that.
No, it's cool. But I was just saying, it's funny how I feel like my story is unique, but then I talk to other people that went through the same thing, and it's like, it's funny when I realize there's so many other people that are in that situation, and it's like, it's like the people that break through, like we all have very similar stories, but I think there's a lot of people right now that are probably sitting in their 9-to-5s.
Yeah.
Maybe they're listening to this podcast at their 9-to-5, but I bet you there's a lot of people out there that are debating it. Maybe there's some people that are passionate about like photography, people that are passionate about like, you know, like anything.
Yeah,
that are just like,
whatever
man,
you want to do. That's crazy.
It's one of those things where you don't realize that, like, it sounds scary giving up a number like 75,000 a year. Like, it sounds terrifying, but when you really break it down, like to like a monthly income that you need,
you don't need like that much to like survive.
You really just got to get some clients. You know what I mean? Like, so once I quit, I was like, all right, time to get clients. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god,
you're like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah, like it wasn't.
Like it's like, nope, back to work. Like
I was terrified for a little bit, like for maybe a couple hours, because I was like, oh man, like bills are gonna be coming in, and I don't have money to cover it. But honestly, my energy just kind of shifted pretty fast to like, all right, just gotta get on the phone and gotta use my network. And you know, I posted this post on LinkedIn that was literally my business card, and I was like, please share this post to help me.
Crazy,
like that's smart.
Please share this post to help me. And I said something clever in the caption about like, help me digitally hand out my business card or something. And it got like 70 or like 100 shares on LinkedIn.
Wow.
Which, as you know, on LinkedIn is like 50,000 views or something like that. So
that's so smart.
I had people reaching out
might
left and
steal
right
that.
that were like,
That's
yeah, you
great.
should.
Yeah, that's good advice right there. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I think for us, like, how old are you, Jake?
28.
Yeah, so you're 28, we're 24, 23, so there's a little bit of an age gap before.
Not much.
But not too much. Jake's like, bro, I'm not old.
It's like, listen.
Nah, dude, there's not
Like-
a big age gap.
Yeah, but like for us though, like we never really grew around LinkedIn in a way. I want to say, like we're
Definitely
definitely,
not.
we're definitely undervaluing that for sure.
I
Yeah.
saw LinkedIn pretty much from day one, where like it was literally the second version of your resume. Like it was kind of just an online resume.
Mhm.
But once LinkedIn started becoming a more major player in the social media space, they became more of like a business Facebook, where it's
Yeah.
just a content platform
Yeah.
at this point. Like it's not even. I feel like the profile and resume part of LinkedIn is almost secondary at this point.
Wow.
People are just posting articles, posting smart thoughts about their industries left and right. So, yeah, it's definitely, and it's not at the phase yet where they're putting business and like certain types of content at the bottom of the feed yet. Like you're still getting a lot of organic reach on LinkedIn. And Gary Vee talks about this all the time. Like when a platform is in that kind of hot phase where organic reach is high, and you know you don't have to find all these different tricks and hacks to get your post seen.
Yeah.
Like just do
Oh,
everything
Let
if
it
you
on
can,
there
like
as much.
squeeze it as hard as you
That's
can.
And I was telling you guys this yesterday whenever we were at that dinner. I just realized I went into my LinkedIn. I have more people connected to me and following me on
That's
LinkedIn than Instagram, because I've just been slowly over time like putting stuff out, and I didn't even realize the effect it was having. I
Wow.
have like 5,000 or 6,000 people on my LinkedIn, and on Instagram I have like 4 or something.
That's crazy.
And I always thought Instagram was my best, but I mean LinkedIn is a serious platform if you're trying to get just eyeballs in general.
So Instagram versus LinkedIn, like how's the content different for you when you're posting?
So I test a lot of different things, meaning like sometimes I'll post the same video on Instagram and then post it again on LinkedIn, and just kind of, because I'm just curious to like see, it's like an experiment. I just
Yeah.
want to see
Yeah.
like what happens on both. And I've found that video is always the best thing for LinkedIn, because I think video is newer for LinkedIn. So they're always pushing their new features and like giving more reach to their newer features, like
Makes sense.
like video. So it could be the same video, or maybe it's like a less kind of fun video where like I might have a cool background or something on the Instagram one, and then on the LinkedIn one I just have like a dark blue background or something, you know what I mean? Like just something a little bit more toned down, I guess, kind of for that crowd. So I'll just tweak the caption a little bit too, to have like less emojis and like hip hop
A
references.
little more professional.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like on Instagram, I might be like, "Oh, secure the bag," or like,
yeah.
like
Get
some
this cash money.
yeah, it's like some Migos line that I
Yeah.
tie into like a marketing insight.
Hey,
And then,
That's funny.
Like that works on Instagram, but then on LinkedIn, like
then just
CEOs and
ignore
CMOs of companies
like,
don't want to
what?
see that.
Yeah.
that. So just really like curating your content for your specific audience.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
got to keep in mind at all times, like, what are people going on to LinkedIn for? They're not going on it for fun little Instagram-y type of things. They want business content. They want
They can
helpful
use,
advice. You know what I mean?
Hey,
So sometimes I'll elaborate more in my caption on LinkedIn. Sometimes I'll, like, simple things. Like, instead of saying, like, what up, guys? Like, I'll put, like, hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
But it's a little thing.
Those
Yeah.
little things like that you would
Wow.
never think of. And
Dang.
it's stuff like that that I feel like you just gotta really think about what the people are going on the platform to consume, and then you just gotta tailor it that way instead of just doing what you feel is natural. You gotta do what you think the audience will like.
Definitely.
So
Dang.
yeah,
So what platforms are you using most right now?
Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm gonna be starting a podcast soon.
Yes.
So
Hey,
yeah, if
there
you could
go.
do like a little ding or something,
Yeah.
some way to
Plug.
I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like but yeah, I'm gonna be starting that soon. I had one a little while ago, but it just lost traction because
Yeah.
I didn't really have a direction or a story to tell at the time.
And on top of that, it takes time. It really does.
It
take
does,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's worth it though, because like Gary Vee's model, like okay, we said Gary Vee like 10 times already in this podcast. If you're not
So
following
if you
Gary
don't know who
Vee,
that is,
you need to do it because he's literally the main
Yeah.
reason why we're all sitting together.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
crazy.
much.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how that works.
Thank you, Gary.
But yeah, literally you can create like a huge piece of content. Do it just a podcast. You can put it on YouTube. You can cut it up for Instagram, and then
Yeah,
now we're gonna try to do it and try to push into LinkedIn because we
yeah.
we
That's
have no
smart,
content
yeah.
for LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
so podcast is next that I'm not doing right now. I tweet sometimes. I mean, it's
Tweet.
Yeah.
We just got on Twitter too.
yeah, and it's one of those things like Twitter was cool when I was in college and when I was like getting out of high school, so it's always been like a natively easy thing for me to go on and figure out and know what to post because I've been doing it for 10 years now, so I know Twitter, and it's one of those things where it's like even when Twitter got less cool, I was always still doing it because I had like a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
So I was always tweeting no matter what. It was funny whenever Instagram and Facebook went down that one random day.
Oh my
everybody
gosh.
rushed over to Twitter
I was like, what's going on?
And I was like, oh, where have you guys been all this time? I was like, I've been here. It's like, I've been on Twitter.
That was me. That was me.
Yeah. I was like, where you guys all been? I was like, I've been here hanging out waiting for people to come tweet.
Yes.
But Twitter, I have a business Facebook page for both Brick Media and for myself. They honestly don't get that many views or engagement, but I still just post so that if anybody comes across it or looks me up, but I promote everything I post on Facebook just because, even if it's like $1 or $2, like you just want.
As many
I'd rather have 100 people see it than 4. So I'm like, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And if it only costs me like $2 to do that, then why not? Because I'm gonna spend more than $2 on this.
Yeah,
that's true, man.
So, so yeah, I'm pretty much on everything except Snapchat. I just don't. I don't have a need for it. I mean, I know if Gary Vee was watching this, or if somebody that's a heavy believer in Snapchat was watching this, they would probably like,
what are you talking about?
They'd be like, what are you talking
it's just
about?
It's just hard to create content for Snapchat. I feel like.
I just can't do everything.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. That's true too.
I know you guys probably deal with this too, but like, I have 12 clients right now that are recurring, and I need to make all of them happy before I even worry about my own content.
That's true.
So just the fact that I'm able to do stuff like this podcast or posting on Instagram most days, like that's already, you know, I'm already spreading myself thin because I don't have a team that's helping me with all of it.
Yeah. And how do you balance that? Like we talked about that a little bit on our first podcast.
And we still are.
Something that we struggle with, like seriously, because we're like
the stuff that we do for ourselves. It's fun. We enjoy it, and then we get business through that somehow. And then once we get that business, we can't do the fun stuff anymore. We get more business. It's hard. It's a weird cycle, bro.
I mean, I don't really have a good answer, to be honest, but because I'm still trying to figure it out. But all I can tell you is that, like, if you don't put your clients first all the time, like everything's gonna fall through.
True.
So like, if I just started going ham on this podcast idea and was like putting out a new one every day and making cool videos out of it, and like my clients like weren't getting posted or like the results were going down.
That's true.
I'm gonna lose all of that.
Sorry, guys, we're like by a water park.
Yeah,
there's like a kid. I think that's a kid.
Kid screaming.
Oh, I thought it was a bird. But yeah, so that's what that is.
Kid, bird, whatever. But
yeah, that's true.
Clients have to come first because they obviously pay your bills, and
that's true.
Honestly, when you live in a small city like Tampa, you can't like upset anybody.
Yeah, because one bad review can literally destroy you.
Oh yeah, because everybody's connected through like somebody.
Yeah,
you know
everybody knows somebody near somebody.
It's a super tight knit community here. In
yeah, it is.
That's something we noticed too. Like when we moved here, we're like, oh my gosh, this is so big. Like there's so many people here.
It's crazy,
but then everyone literally knows everyone.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I always try to have that mindset of like, you know,
you're always like being watched almost.
Yeah. It's
like not in a weird way, but like you always gotta want to do what's right. So.
Yeah, like when I'm sitting there and I'm like focused too much on my own social media or something, in the back of my head I'm always like, all right, like you gotta put a limit to this, you know what I mean? Like post your thing and like be off of it, you know? It's like I can't always be sitting there focusing on it, and honestly at some point I might have to get either like an assistant or an intern or something just to focus on my personal stuff and the brick media pages, because I just can't always be looking at it.
Yeah.
But I see the importance of it. But clients always got to come first.
That was actually one of our questions. Like, what is something that you need help with right now?
Right now.
So like you can ask people that are listening to this podcast, share it to the universe. What can one person do to help Jay Kurtz right now?
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I'm always needing help with content for myself and for Brick Media. So whether that's graphics, videos, articles, blog posts, like anything to help get the Brick Tampa name out there. I'm even open-minded to giving people like a commission-based, like a commission-only type of agreement where like if you sell a website, you know, you get 25% of the payment or something, like literally just for finding it for me. So I just need help in general because I'm kind of in that awkward phase where I can't really hire someone full time. I can't really invest in somebody's salary or like even like a really solid monthly payment.
Yeah.
But I also need help, so it's like, you know what I mean?
It's a limbo.
It's that weird phase, but it's mainly content and then just general help with organizing myself, help with, you know, remembering to follow up on things. So pretty much like a assistant slash content person. Yeah.
All right, so there you go, guys. If you guys want to be the assistant to Jake, he has so much knowledge. Literally, we just hang out with him like for like 5 minutes, and he just spits out crazy information. So reach out to Jake in the comments below, wherever. Like, just do it, guys.
And this is another thing too. Like, I'm always down to just like sit and talk with somebody and spill all the knowledge I have. Like, I'm not stingy with my knowledge. I don't think that me giving out my knowledge on any topic is gonna like, you know, hurt me in any way or like hurt my business in any way. So if somebody wants to just sit down and be like, hey, how'd you price this client, or how'd you like, what do you think about this type of social media? Like, I'm always down to just answer questions. And I'll literally give you all the details too. Like, I'll tell you.
Free, not like college.
Yeah.
Jake.
Jake.
Go with Jake.
Jake University.
If you're going to college for marketing, just go to Jake. That's it. Done.
I won't give you like the client's name and what they're paying me, but like I'll tell you an example of something, you know? Like, I won't give away sensitive stuff. But I'll give you anything else.
And that's good.
That's cool.
That's cool.
So,
and that's so important. Like, I feel like real people just need to share what they know.
That's true. Oh yeah, there's so many articles you'll read about like 5 ways to start your agency, or I don't know, like 3 top tips somebody has, but like it's always fluff and like not really tactical.
We just want straightforward. How can I use this information right now? Like,
It's
quick.
Like, how do you charge your clients? Like, I'll tell you exactly how I charge my clients.
That's true.
So
that's cool. And that goes kind of for us too. Like, we made like a big package list for Jake, because we were working together, making content for other.
That's clutch. I have it actually.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we literally broke it down. So if you guys are interested in checking the pricing that we gave Jake.
They literally gave me a whole folder.
Yes, we did.
Like, you know, like in high school when you do the presentation.
Like the book report folders?
No, it's literally like every option they have.
Everything, we broke it down, like a photo shoot, video shoot. So
now when I need to outsource content, I can just go to this handy
I know exactly
and be like, oh, I can get this for this much. These guys are awesome.
That's fun.
Highly recommended.
That's so funny.
Oh yeah, I'm always gonna have this thing. It's always gonna be handy.
That's great.
All right, well, the battery's about to die on this thing, so before it dies, any last words, Jake?
Any last words? I guess just if you're sitting at a job or doing something that you, well, obviously if you hate it, entertain the idea of leaving, but I just think you shouldn't be afraid to put yourself out there and worry about what other people are going to think about it, because these guys know this too. Like, if you can get past that initial awkward phase where you feel weird about reaching out or you feel weird about posting a piece of content, you just gotta get past that initial hump, and then you're gonna be golden. Like, you'll never believe the amount of traction, the amount of people you'll meet, the projects you can get just by being willing to put yourself out there. And I'm not saying like quit your job immediately, but I'm just saying, like, if you feel like there might be something in your head that would make you happier, at least entertain the idea of putting yourself out there. Like, just don't completely block it off because of like what your parents or what your teachers or what your network of friends around you is telling you. Like, listen to your gut and just open your mind a little bit. So that's really my final words.
That's awesome.
That was perfect. Exactly. Do that.
Yeah, do that.
Be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. I hate that word. I can't freaking say it.
You cannot say it.
All right. With that being said, guys, thanks so much to Jake. We appreciate you for just listening, and we'll see you later.
Or watching.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
That was perfect. That was like right on time.
Good.
Before we end this podcast, I just want to give a huge shout out to EV47. He's the one that made the beat for the beginning and end of this podcast. So you should definitely check him out because he's dope. And yeah, peace.
Yes.